As Detroiters, we've got cars in our blood, and the freedom that cars give us is a rite of passage after receiving a license. Hi, my name is Crystal, and I'm a gallery teacher at the DIA. I'm going to take you through our special exhibition called Detroit Style. I'll highlight how Detroit designers reflect function and style in their car designs from over the past 70 years. There's so much beauty and innovation to take in, you can't help but feel pride for Detroit from this exhibition. On display, we have 36 works on paper that help us understand the thought process of designers, 7 artworks that show interpretations or inspirations from cars, and 12 physical cars to inspect at every angle. Let's check out this super cool experimental car that's futuristic even by today's standards. This is a 1958 Firebird 3 designed by Norman James for General Motors. Designers in the 50s were inspired by the victory of World War II and space-age technology, so details from airplanes or rocket ships made their way into car designs. The cutting-edge elements include 2 separate bubble domes for the driver and 1 passenger, and a single joystick to steer, speed up, and brake. It even had self-driving capabilities and air conditioning, state-of-the-art technology for this time. Another interpretation of futuristic car design is evident in this painting by Sidney J. Mead from 1960 called Gyroscopically Stabilized Two-Wheel Car. This is like a flying saucer on 2 wheels with an undeniably aerodynamic shape. Doesn't it look like this vehicle can surge to top speeds? Designers learned that the shape of a car is super important for speed and performance because air can flow around it with ease, just like the pointed front end and smooth lines the artist included in his fantasy creation. We wouldn't have seen Firebird 3 or Sidney Mead's fantasy creation on the road, so let's look at a car similar to what people drove in the 50s. You can still see the influence of airplanes and rockets in the length and the pointy fins of this 1957 Chrysler 300C designed by Virgil Exner. With 375 horsepower, Chrysler advertised this car as America's highest performing automobile. This artwork by Art Miller from 1952, called Rendering of an Automobile Interior, gives us a pretty good idea of what a car's interior would look like from this time period. Notice that there's just 1 long seat, kind of like a booth seat at a restaurant. The interior is reflecting the elongated, smooth lines from the exterior of the car, creating a seamless look inside and out. Now let's look at this large painting by Jean-Michel Basquiat from 1984 called Rusting Red Car in Kauai. Kauai, located in Hawaii, is where the artist was taking some time to escape the dizzying art scene of New York. When he came across this abandoned vintage car, he was inspired by his nostalgia for a similar-looking classic car he purchased after his first major success as a young artist. Basquiat had a great love for old music, especially jazz, and he even played in a band. He also got his start as a graffiti artist. Can you see any connections to graffiti when you look at this painting's style? While Basquiat was looking to the past for inspiration, here's an example of a car from the 80s. This 1987 Lamborghini Portofino from Chrysler was a one-of-a-kind concept car, meaning only 1 prototype was produced. The scissor doors of this 4-seater slide upwards towards the sky for an eye-catching modern appeal. It's a more sporty and compact design compared to the older cars we looked at, as efficiency was key for designers. So we've looked at cars and artworks from the 50s and 80s. Now it's time to look at more recent examples. It's hard not to be captivated by this large abstract painting by Kristen Baker called The Unfair Advantage from 2003. Upon first impression, it seems like an explosion of colors and shapes. But a closer look reveals the artist's inspiration is from a racetrack. She grew up with a love for racing. Her father was even an amateur race car driver. Can you see a resemblance to a racetrack, speed, or even a crash? A crash with flying car parts seems inevitable with the nature of racing. Baker achieves a high-gloss finish in her paintings by using industrial techniques to remind us of the polished surfaces of cars. Can you imagine a car like this one racing in the painting we just looked at? This 2017 GT by the Ford Motor Company was built to perform on a racetrack, but was actually street legal and available to purchase by a few lucky buyers. The curved lines and teardrop shape make this car incredibly aerodynamic. This car sits low to the ground, just 3 inches off the pavement for more stability when this car surpasses 200 miles per hour. Look closely at the material in this sculpture by John Chamberlain from 1962 called Ku Wa Zi. These car parts smashed together are not the result of an accident, but are purposefully crushed using big machinery. The artist wanted to use recognizable materials from everyday life in the United States. Parts from old cars were in ready supply, so he used them to sculpt abstract forms like this. Please visit our exhibition page at dia.org/Detroit Style for a few activities. You can find step-by-step instructions on how to create your own rubber band car like this one. Everything you need is probably laying around your house. Thanks for checking out Detroit Style with me. Hope to see you next time.